Good afternoon. Welcome to Seconds with Sonya. Let's talk about why did we ever doubt? Why did you ever doubt? Just why? Why did you ever doubt? You know, there are things that come up in our lives and they do cause us to pause and sometimes doubt that God can really do what he said he would do. Or we get to a place where we just no longer believe that he's going to do it. Maybe he'll do it for somebody, but not for us. My question, why did we ever doubt? Why do we do that? Why do we doubt? So if you go to Matthew 14, Matthew the 14th chapter, it starts out talking about John being beheaded. Jesus finds out about John being beheaded, and of course he's trying to go off by himself. But of course the people they see him, they follow him. So then he ends up feeding the 5,000, and then he sends the disciples on the boat to the other side by himself, and he goes away to pray. He needs some time to himself, which we all do from time to time. We need time to ourselves, and sometimes we feel guilty about that. So let me put this plug in. Don't feel guilty about taking time for yourself because you need it. You need time just to rest your mind and just to be away from everything else, and that's perfectly okay. Jesus did it. We need to pay attention to what he did. But he sent them away. The wind started, so it was kind of rough out there on the sea, and they're in the boat. And it says around the fourth watch, and somebody says it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, that he decided to go out into the water, and they saw him coming. He's walking on the water, and so they thought it was a ghost, a spirit. They were afraid. And he calls out to them, and he says, don't be afraid. It's me. And Peter said, well, Lord, if it's really you, let me come out there. If it's really you, in verse 28, Matthew 14:28. Then Peter called to him, Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on the water. Yes, come, Jesus said. So Peter went over the side of the boat and walked on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw the strong wind and the waves, he was terrified and began to sink. Save me, Lord, he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him. You have so little faith, Jesus said. Why did you doubt me? And that's my question to us. Why are we doubting him? The winds of life will blow. Storms of this life, they will come. But don't you remember that if we have faith the size of a mustard seed, faith the size of a mustard seed can move a mountain. I was in a class yesterday and we talked about how Americans don't have that kind of faith. We don't have mountain moving faith. And you remember that verse, some trust in chariots, some trust in horses, and I think we're just like that. Why do we ever doubt? Why do we doubt? Because our faith is not rooted and grounded the way that it should be. And we got to get to a place where we have real faith. Real faith where we trust him and we believe him. We take him at his word like never before. Real faith, authentic faith. Not just lip service faith, because that's not going to help us hold up when these hard trials come. We have to know. My grandma used to say, you got to know that you 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 know. You got to know. It's got to get out of our heads, and it's got to reach our hearts, and it's got to get to our spirit, man. So that when the Lord tells us something, no matter what it looks like, no matter what else it looks like that's going on, our faith should be in him. We should trust the fact that he can do it. And if he's on the scene, it's all right. And when is it that he's not on the scene? He's there all the time. He's waiting patiently. He never leaves us. He never forsakes us. God never walks out on us. Jesus never walks out on us. We walk out on him. But he doesn't do that to us. He's always there. He's holy. He's righteous. And he's right there. So we got to get to a place where we erase our doubt. Because that tells us that we're leaning on ourselves. And we should be leaning on his everlasting arms. Our hope should not be gone because it should be in him. Our faith should not be gone. It should be rooted in him. And we should not doubt. The old people used to sing songs, say, don't you doubt him. Don't you doubt him. And we shouldn't, because we know entirely too much about the Lord. We've seen him do it in biblical times. We've seen him do it in our lifetime. We know that his hand is moving now. We know that even when we can't see it, when we can't trace him, we know that he's always working. He's always there. So why did you doubt? He did it before. And he's the same God. He changes not. Anything that you've needed, his hand has always provided. He is the air that we breathe. Don't doubt God. Learn a lesson from Peter. Don't take your eyes off of Jesus. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Nothing in between. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that the storms are raging. He is your peace, be still. It does not matter that it looks like everything is a calamity. Stay in his will. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Don't doubt him. Do not doubt him. When Jesus answered Peter, he said, "Oh, ye of little faith." Another one said, "Why did you doubt?" Well, it says that, "Why did you doubt? Oh, ye of little faith." He had to have great faith. He stepped out on the water. He wanted to get to where Jesus was, so much so that he risked. I guess he could swim. He's a fisherman, but he stepped out on that water. And the wind was blowing when he got out there. Nothing changed. What changed is he started using his head. Hey, this don't make sense. It's going to be a lot of things on your spiritual journey that don't make sense. They don't have to make sense. They don't have to make sense. All that has to happen is that you have to trust God. Trust God. Don't doubt.